That when Umar radiallahu anhu and the Muslims had come to Palestine and were going to conquer it, that it was conquered without bloodshed. Because they called for Umar to come, and we know the famous story of Umar and how he came in his humility and trading off with his servant riding. And so when the king comes out in all his trappings of gold and he sees a man in ragged and patched clothing leading the camel and a servant on top of the camel, and this is the leader of the Muslims, he was amazed by the humility of the Muslims. And they gave the keys of Palestine to the Muslims. Umar radiallahu anhu did many things in that to respect the people there. When they invited him to pray in a church, he refused, not to disrespect them, but because he said, if I pray in this church, people will come after me, Muslims, and want to imitate what I did, and eventually the Muslims will make it a masjid. And I want you to keep it as a church. And he prayed on the stairs, and that masjid of Umar is still there today, right next to a church. Umar was amazed that the Jewish people of Medina had been kicked out by the Byzantines. And what did he do? He brought in Jewish people into al-Bayt al-Maqdis. That's our deen. Those are our leaders. For 850 years, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, where the Christians believe that Isa alayhi salam was resurrected from. We have a different belief, but we recognize what they believe. That church for 850 years, the keys to that church still to this day are in the hands of the Judah family. They put the keys of that church in a Muslim family's hands because the Christians were fighting over which denomination gets the rights to those keys. And so they said, let's solve it by putting it in the hands of Muslims. For 850 years and still to this day, and they have a key that is 500 years old and another one that is 850 years old. So this is not about Muslims hating other people of faith. The Jewish people have worshipped on that land alongside Muslims and Christians for thousands of years. And this is a long tradition, we see it. Even in Andalusia, when the Inquisition happened and the ruling Catholic family was wiping out anybody who was not Catholic, where did the Jews go? Where did the Jewish people go? They got asylum in Morocco, in Al-Maghrib. They went asylum into the Ottoman Empire. They were protected. Why? Because our messenger taught us that the non-Muslims who live amongst the Muslims are ahlu dhimma. They are the people of dhimma. What does dhimma mean? Fi dhimmatillahi wa rasulih. In the protection of Allah and His messenger. Out of our service and our duty to Allah and His messenger, we protect the people regardless of their faith. That is who we are as Muslims, regardless of what the media and the